Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Stories on Sunset. I am your host, Srethne, and tonight I'm telling my story of one the time I covered Deftones at the Hollywood Palladium. And every Sunday night, I am sharing these stories so I can raise funds for all the venues on Sunset Strip and Sunset Boulevard. All the locations are on the bottom from in alphabetical order, from like Amoeba to the Viper Room to the Whiskey a Go Go and so on. Donate to one, donate to some, donate to all of them if you want to. Um, and yeah, this is the. I remembered this one was on my 1 year anniversary of concert journalism for Deftones. It was my 100th article, and I had to. This one was from my third journal that I had published. I handwrite everything, and before I cover the show, I usually open a the LA Weekly to and scheduled 2 weeks in advance to request credentials and reach out to their publicist and whatnot. And so this one was pretty awesome. I got really excited when I saw that Deftones was playing at the Palladium, and so in order for me to make sure I get the credentials, I wrote everybody, their label, their management, their publicist, whatever I could find on their research. I looked up, like they usually have it on their Facebook page, who I reach out to and stuff. And so I reached out to them, and I got accepted on their guest list for the press. And so I was really excited. All I had to do was just show my ID and cover the show. So I went and covered Deftones at the Palladium, and of course I had to buy all the merch I can get, from like shirts and all that stuff, because I got into those shows for free, and I had to make sure the bands got paid something, even if I went into debt, which I did in a series of previous tweets. But it was all worth it because I got all these cool shirts to remember my experience in Los Angeles with. But I remembered Scars on Broadway performed, and if you don't know who Scars on Broadway is, it's a member of System of a Down, and so that's one of his bands. They're still active, so that's good. I saw them on a bill in Europe somewhere coming up next year because of the Rona. And then I didn't. I don't think I photographed them, but I did remember photographing Deftones and us being escorted into the photo pit. And I remember seeing my friend Diego. He's in a band. He was in a band called Dead End Amelia, and so he was all stoked to see me on the other side of the photo pit, and I was stoked to see him in the front row. That's one of the cool things about being a concert journalist, was getting to be in the photo pit and all that stuff. But it was the most amazing thing ever, because it was sold out, and I got to see one of my favorite bands live up close. And I remember seeing like a white flag, like a red flag, a white pony flag from their album in the crowd, and how sweaty Chino was, and during Passenger, the lead singer of the Dillinger Escape Plan joined Deftones on stage to sing Maynard James Keenan's parts for Passenger. And speaking of Maynard, his band's on my shirt, called Pussifer, so that's pretty cool. I got to see them at the Will Turn and a bunch of other places too, so that was a pretty cool experience. But yeah, I think that's my Deftones story. I know it's short and sweet. It's like, I don't know, a couple minutes long. But some of these stories are long and some of them are short. But it was like my second time seeing, maybe a second or third time seeing Deftones. I think my first time was seeing them in Denver at my second concert ever. It was Summer Sanitarium with Deftones, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Mudvayne, and Metallica. And I think I mentioned Linkin Park too, but those were all on the bill. But yeah, I was pretty excited to see them in an inside atmosphere because that's my favorite kind of shows. Sing bands inside. Um, but yeah, that's my Deftone story at the Palladium. And as I mentioned before, but the story started, I'm raising funds for all the venues, including Book Soup and all that good stuff. Um, During this time, this pandemic. So I definitely donate to their causes. Make sure they stay open after this whole thing goes away, so that way we can see Deftones and such perform at these historic venues again. Because that'd be pretty awesome. Hopefully, you can see them at the Palladium like I did, because that was one heck of a show. But yeah, it's I'll wrap it up now, and next week I will share another Hollywood Palladium show when I got to see Skrillex. So that was a pretty cool time to cover his show. So alrighty, folks, that's this stories on Sunset. This is my SOS to the world. This is my message in a bottle. This is I love sharing these stories on Sunset Boulevard. I'm Srathne, and have a good night.